Does anybody have some experience with Feng Shui? Is this a totally new concept to most of you? You can go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know where you stand in your experience with Feng Shui.
Lama, Mary and I have some experience with it, selecting colors, selecting placement of things in the room, sort of a basic. We've read a couple of basic books on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Bagua, or there are 9 principal aspects to different parts of your house that are associated with particular energies. And there are different schools of thought. I am teaching from the black hat, the Buddhist black hat tradition. There are other traditions, but this one is from Professor Lin Yun Rinpoche, the black hat sect of Feng Shui, and is probably the most popular throughout the world right now. It's also called geomancy, and many of our Rinpoches, Taisitu Rinpoche is very well-versed in Feng Shui as well. And as I meant, when any construction is done on a monastery, a Feng Shui or the geomancy, the surrounding area is considered. And the placement, the direction it's faced in is a consideration. And we will be talking about some of those things in this hour. So when you look at a place, if you're considering buying a house or you're interested in a particular area, you look at certain factors such as the people, neighbors, the events that happen in that area, which all have to do with the Feng Shui of the area. Are they thriving? Is it in good repair? Is it run down? Are there occurrences of negative things, whether they're natural occurrences or cultural situations, high crime? All these things are considered an aspect of Feng Shui. And how is the vegetation? How are the animals? How's the life force there? The earth chi indicators, as to an area. And when you have those eyes, you begin to look at the area in a different way. Is there things that contribute to disease in that area? In general malaise? Do things grow well there? How is the soil? The trees look healthy. Are there birds and wildlife? And when you're looking at a house, sometimes you kind of look at the other omens that go with it. Be alert to things if you're looking at a house in a particular area. Are there dead animals that you see in when you're looking? Are there other things that are considered inauspicious as well? And what's around it? Are there places of worship? Are there burial grounds or cemeteries? Electrical fields. Nowadays, we have to look at EMFs and things like that. Are there high power lines and things like that can affect the chi and vitality of the area? So those are some of the things that you look for. And when we look at the house is like a body, it's like our body, and there are meridians and pathways of chi in a house as well, and you don't want them obstructed or interfered with. The entry of your house is considered the mouth of the house, and You want it to be open, spacious. You don't want to walk into the front of the house and run into a wall. That is not good feng shui. You want to have, if you can have even double doors entering the house so that she is moving. And there's a large opening for that chi to enter. So there's 9 areas, as I mentioned in this bagua. Bagua is spelled B-A-G-U-A, and each of these 9 areas are called a gua. It's pronounced gua, so it's pronounced G-W-A, but it's spelled G-U-A. And in this system, when you walk through the door, you are in, as I say, there are 9 different living areas in a house. You walk into the career area. So if you have a hallway, you have something like that, you want it again open so that you're not bumping into things. You want it attractive. Each of the elements are represented. So the color for that is usually associated with water. So glass is often associated with water, as well as obviously water or swirly, paisley kinds of things that are associated with water. Something on the wall that can be associated with water as well. So blue, black, that is the color of the water element. And that represents your career. You know what? So you have to think about your aspirations, and that is the entryway to those to that particular aspect of one's life. This 9 areas of the Bagua, which represents 9 areas of our life. On the far side of the opposite side is considered the fame area. So your reputation, you know, that is associated with the fire element. And so in this building, the fame Bagua is our shrine. So I have the Buddha in that in this area and offerings to the Buddha. So this represents how you want to present yourself to the world, or how you're seen in the world. So that is, it just happened to be that way. But it works out very well. So when you walk in the front door and to your, in the left is the knowledge or spirituality area. So having your shrine room, if there's a bedroom or a space there, just to the left as you walk in would be the knowledge. To the right as you walk in is helpful people. So, you know, that is those people who are supportive to you, your friends, colleagues, your spiritual teachers. So that would also be a place where you could have pictures of those teachers. You know, we talk about gurus and things like that. It's not really foreign to think about having teachers that we respect. If you are in school, I'm sure you can think of teachers that you've had that played a significant role in your education and maybe guided you in a particular kind of way. Those are considered helpful people. And to have, you can use gemstones. If we have time, we can talk about certain gemstones as well that you can have in these places, the colors associated with that and the rest. So we said that the career is the entry, The back is Feng in the just opposite of where you come in. To the left of coming into the space we mentioned is the knowledge and spirituality. Then the one in between, there's 3 sections. So if we divide it up into a square, there are 3 across, 3 across, 3 across. But and the center is seen as the kind of health area. Often there's a kitchen in that area. This represents your health, personal health. And often that is in the center. So you have that makes 9. So there's 3. And then another one, and 8 along the outside, and 1 in the center, make 9. Are you following that? Does that make sense to you? It's hard. We should have a picture of these 9 areas of a house, but your house is, if you overlaid this bagua over it, there'd be, there we are. Oh, how wonderful. So yeah, there we have it. The career, as you enter, this would be the entry place at the bottom, looking north. That is so nice, so good. And then the helpful people, knowledge and self-cultivation. Family is above that one. So pictures of the family, that is nice there. And above that is so as you walk in, the back left side is the wealth and prosperity corner. So if you're concerned about your wealth and you're concerned about your livelihood and making money, that left, well, if you're, yes, is considered the wealth corner. So having a live plant, often, you've seen these little bamboo kind of plants. Bamboo is considered a yang plant. Things that are short and, yin is contracted, yang is expansive. So a bamboo, which is long and it can grow up, it brings your energy up. That is yang. Things that bring your gaze down is yin. So having a plant that is somewhat tall, green is also good, but the color for this is often purple, as it is seen in this diagram. It can be green, it can be red, but you want it to be clean. You want it to be bright. Dark things are yin, bright things, is there light in that area? And as I said, the center is associated with the center of your home, the earth element, and your health. So that again should be open, bright, clean. One of the things that really obstruct the chi is clutter. So you don't want to have a lot of clutter. There's a lot being said about these different, keeping your house clean and orderly. Well, there's something to that from a Feng Shui point of view. Let's see if there's. Sorry about that. Yeah, as I say, the Feng Shui is like acupuncture for your home. The same life force that of chi that lives invisibly in your body, lives invisibly outside the body in your home as well, or office. If you're in an office situation, and that clutter or situation impedes the life force. Let's see, what else do we want? The book that I'm looking at, by the way, is Feng Shui and Health, The Anatomy of a Home. It's by Nancy Santo Pietro. And it's using Feng Shui to disarm illness and accelerate recovery and create optimal health. It is a nice book. It's, again, she was a student of Professor Lin. And it is just part of vibrational medicine. Everything that we come in contact with has an energy, whether it's color, sound, and it affects us. You know, we talked about having a shrine room, for example. So having the shrine room in a space that is naturally has an affinity for that. It can be in a small space, either to the right or left of the area that you're where you walk in. Would you put up that one more time, Catherine, the Bagua? So the other place for a bedroom would be where it says creativity and children, the middle right there. So in your bedroom, there are certain colors as well that are beneficial. Often we say associated with white there, it is metal element, but it can be pastels as well. This is associated with the I Ching and the joyous lake. There is a particular hexagram associated with each of these areas as well, or trigram, I should say. So in there, if a person, though, for example, wanted a relationship, you would have not a single picture of a bird or something like that, but two birds, cranes, or fish, or things like that, not one. And you would have things in there. I mean, that even goes with pillows, two pillows, because subconsciously that idea of one becomes a theme. So you see interactions, and not just two, not more than that. It's in the marriage area of the Bagua. So that has to do with marriage, you know, and chi in your life and your ability to draw successful, loving partnerships. So in the same way, you want to have that conducive just to maintain relationships as well. I didn't talk about that one so much, so I just wanted to add that to it. And children creativity is, you know, that's the area across from it, the family associated with the wood element in the east, that one, yes. So you want to have life-affirming things there that we want to give birth to, whether it's a human being or an idea, or, you know, we're constantly creating. So if you have if there were difficulties, regarding fertility or pregnancies, it would be addressed in this area. So you would consider, what is there? Is there a bathroom that's there? Is there some kind of a room that is just a dumping place for things? Not so great. It could be a room that you use for creativity, for writing, art, those kinds of things, inspirational things. That allows individuals to, utilize their creativity, and it can manifest in myriad ways, including children. So it doesn't mean you have to have your bedroom there, but it means that you have, again, it's clean. You can have a plant there, which also represents growth, but it's a live plant. It's a healthy plant. Plants are always good. And it's ruled by metal, so it says wood as well, wood and metal too. That is the one that you had just pointed out to the right. Yeah. So that is creativity in children. Family also does have that capacity as well. Helpful people we mentioned. Marriage and relationships. Helpful people. Any question about any of those particular things? And those colors that are on there kind of are representative of the colors that you might want to consider for those rooms. Earth, of course, is associated with the stomach and spleen, the earth element. And so that is, the color is yellow for that. The wood is green. The water is usually black or blue area. Fire is red. Sometimes the colors differ a little bit in the Bagua when we look at those different areas. But there are many different schools, and you may find there are so-called compass schools that actually look at the directions. They employ a compass called a lopan.
Mama, I have a question.
Yeah.
When Mary and I moved back to Gainesville a year and a half ago, we did a lot of searching, a lot of houses, and we found a place that was the lot we wanted with woods behind it. Was the only lot available, and it was the floor plan that we wanted. So we got it. We selected the colors using Feng Shui. Turns out from this beautiful diagram that Catherine put up, it's uncanny how much the way we have the house set up is exactly like that. Well, the only thing that's different is we don't, our entryway faces more to the east than the north.
That's okay. You're starting with the entryway. It's not critical that it face in that direction.
So it's more important the relativity, not the absolute direction. Because it's going to be hard to move the house to put the front door in the north.
You're not going to spin the house around on its foundation. But yeah, in this particular school of Feng Shui, it begins with the entryway. But taking care of the house, making sure that there's no light bulbs that need replacing, no leaks in the house. Before you did anything, electrical problems or those kinds of things, those need to be fixed before anything else, so that you're.
Well, and I wanted to say this. I thought of you yesterday. We found out about 5 o'clock yesterday that there was a roof leak. There was a couple of drips, but it also ruptured the ceiling a little bit in the dining room. And it was very upsetting in a way, but then I thought, well, Lama had a leak, and in fact, I helped,
Yes.
I gave some dana toward that, and this happens in life. And then I said about the actions of speaking with the builder and and we have a warranty, all that stuff, which felt really good. Just take action on it, and it's in process. It'll be fixed.
Yes, you don't want to let that go, particularly a leak in the roof. It leads to mold problems and secondary things that can really be detrimental to your health. But just from a feng shui point of view, which all these things are the same, they affect your health. So acting on that immediately is good. Even replacing a light bulb, if you have a light bulb that goes out, replace it. Outside lights, same thing.
Thank you.
Other questions? So red, is associated with fire and energy, and it's the epitome of yang energy. So often you'll see front doors that are painted red, and that attracts an energy. Usually the front door is, facing the street area. It's also protective, and that's, so the colors, you'll see that, and it's considered auspicious to have that red entryway. Even though interior-wise, when you walk through the door, it may be more subdued. So when we think about the relationship area, I was talking briefly about stones or gems. Rose quartz is often used, as an expression of a heart or warmth or love. It increases confidence and emotional balance, and a kind of a symbol of universal love and comfort. So having that in your relationship, gua, is a good one to have. Sometimes aquamarine also is a nice stone to have in the children gua. It has a calming, improves mental clarity, and enhances self-expression, and helps one kind of come into their own aquamarine. Agates are often used in the wealth corner. There's a number, agate is a very common stone. I've got the large amethyst in my treatment room. Amethyst is very nice for opening up pathways. Those can be physical pathways and spiritual pathways in a grounded way. So it encourages creativity and intuition. But anyway, in this book that I mentioned, there is a list of different stones that can be used in different areas. And just if you have an affinity for those things, I think that you'll find it interesting, particularly as we can use these things in feng shui for healing as well. The stone is given, the particular qualities of the stone are given, and what chakras and guas are useful, they're useful for. As are essential oils. So essential oils have also been used for a long time and have healing properties. One of my favorites is lavender. It has a nice calming, balancing, soothing, sedating effect. It's anti-inflammatory, and it's used for influenza. Uh, it is said that the people who worked in the lavender factories, the essential oils in France, didn't get the plague. I don't know if that's true or not, but it does have the quality of used for influenza, and has a nice quality. Sometimes lavender is used in sachets that are, put under your pillow or things like that to help with dreams, and has a nice nurturing effect. But there are many. Again, that is another study, but that is also in this book. Many different essential oils. So this is a nice book for healing in a number of ways. To understand particularly the home and the different, how you can improve your living space.
Lama, the name of the book again, please?
It is Feng Shui, and I bet we have it in the chat. Yes, it is Feng Shui, Fengshui, and Health. Feng Shui and Health, The Anatomy of a Home, by Nancy Santo Pietro, Santopietro. Santo Pietro is 2 words. Nancy Santo Pietro.
Thank you.
So the subtitle is Using Feng Shui to Disarm Illness, Accelerate Recovery, and Create Optimal Health. So as I say, this particular person has studied with Professor, and she has a really pretty good grasp of the different aspects of health and healing. And I think you'll find it useful. So, the entranceway is important to your place. You want to have it, again, open and accessible. The foyer, as well, if there's a foyer and entryway, is a significant kind of place of transition where you switch from your social position to your home or private life. It's a space, that you kind of change hats when you enter your home, and a passageway. It's, as I say, having a large, expansive entryway is good. It's well lit. So lighting is yang. Bright, having windows that let in a lot of light is good. Now, sometimes people need yin time, to quiet down, and at night, you want to have it dark, which is yin and conducive to sleep. But yang energy is uplifting. Too much yin, of course, this also depends upon your constitutional predisposition. So a person who's yin needs more yang energy, and a person who's yang needs the calming yin energy. So the colors that are chosen and the things that are in there are to help balance the constitution of that person or person living in that space. So although we say there are certain things to accentuate each of the gua, yet there's also that personal aspect that maybe needs more light, maybe needs more candles instead of bright lights. So this is a consideration for each individual. Any other questions or comments?
Lama, the gua, that signifies or means that's the individual rooms. Is that correct?
Yes, there are 9 gua.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bathrooms also, you need to kind of be careful with those. You don't want to be flushing all of your good karma down the toilet or your wealth. So if you've got a bathroom in the wealth corner, there are feng shui, so-called feng shui cures to help reduce that aspect. Certainly, as I say, you want to take care of any leaks so the energy doesn't leak out. And there are the feng shui cures that are also listed here. Sometimes the use of a red ribbon, which is yang for a bathroom, which is yin, the water aspect, and flushing things out and water down the drain, and that is can be depleting. Putting a red ribbon around the pipe that goes into the wall is said to be a feng shui cure. So there are different things. Whether you want to do that or not is your choice, but there are a number of things that will be given to you as ways to deal with problems. Sometimes in a bedroom, there are beams that go over, that cross over the bed. Sometimes there's exposed beams. That is not good feng shui. Those beams obstruct the qi, and it is said that people who have arthritis or have things like that in their legs or poor circulation, or it can be the beam that is crossing right over them, above them in the bed. So that's a consideration. Again, all of these small things, if you have these problems, you might say, oh, this is something that I need to attend to. So this is a huge study. We're spending just a few minutes really in looking at feng shui as a way of healing some of our problems, and it is vast. But not only does it include the space that you're considering, but your own feng shui as well. We have our own physical feng shui, energetic balance, and we bring that in our living situation. Our living situation can enhance or impede the flow of qi in our own body, again, by impeding the energy in a long hallway that qi rushes too much. In places that it's blocked off, it doesn't move and can get stagnant. So again, there's different ways of dealing with each of those problems from this perspective. And where we place things, it's often the feng shui is called the placement of things, where and what is placed. Of course, you should always like the things that you have in your house. Sometimes we have old things that we've acquired, and if you're not using it, get rid of it. Or if you don't like it, get rid of it. There can be an energy drain from just having things in there. Every time you look at it, you think about an experience or something that is disagreeable, or a person that is disagreeable, and that creates a dissonance or an energetic negativity. So keeping things clean, drawers even, and cabinets and those kinds of things are kept. Not, obsessively so, but And they say one of the things that can improve your health, this isn't just from a Feng Shui point of view, this is modern science. Saying one of the things that can improve your health is just making your bed in the morning. So that you have that clean look instead of things being tossed here, there, and the next place. Who is the woman that she is really big into cleaning up? Marie, somebody, I think. But this is all about Feng Shui. You probably know who I'm talking about. So we're not going to spend a lot of time with this, but I think it's important for you to consider. And there are, as I say, different schools of Feng Shui. And, it's thousands of years old as well. Sometimes, it began with the early days of, thousands of years, there'd be a Feng Shui priest, and persons were called, to primarily to look at the surrounding environment that impacts, the shapes that affected their crops and the owners of the crops. So the main environmental objects and shapes were considered, mountains, mountain ranges, rivers, and the priest would assess the shape of the mountain or to see any auspicious or inauspicious things in the environment in the form of shape. And this was called the form school because the lay of the land was important, both to help with rains and cold or other things that would affect the crops. So the priest would assess whether the element fire would be compatible with the site or with the farmer's personal elements and how that they could fix that. But it is a change, and it's becoming very popular now. Feng Shui is making a kind of a new inroad into our culture as well. So that was the form school. And then the second group was the compass schools that I mentioned, the traditional schools, better known as compass. And many schools fall into this category. It's more complicated. They, in addition to the information, this direction. Direction is very important in that particular school. So getting a compass, literally, to assess direction. And the third school is this Black Hat sect of Tibetan Tantric Buddhism school, sometimes called PTB by the Solanist Grand Master Thomas Lin Yun Rinpoche. And he's the head of the Black Hat sect of the Tibetan Tantric school of Feng Shui in China. He brought it originated in India with Buddhism, and the second stage went in India, then spread to Tibet, and really part of the Bon tradition, and then into China. So this has been around a long time, and many people have benefited from it. And there's a lot to learn, as I said, with this tradition. And so modern medicine and psychology, architecture, art, urban planning, holistic health, aromatherapy, meditation, all are considered in this Feng Shui idea. So that's why it's one of the 8 petals of traditional Asian medicine, and it is taught as part of the education of an Asian doctor. Still is. But often the emphasis, of course, is placed on acupuncture and herbs. But to consider Qigong, to consider acupressure, to consider the Feng Shui is very important. Any other questions? So I'll leave it to you to continue to study this if you choose to, if that is something that appeals to you. So I mentioned there's different cures that can be used. Sometimes mirrors are used to reflect negative energy. And, if you're next to a taller building that kind of can suppress the energy in your location, that's a problem. And now with the EMFs, you don't want to be next to a high-powered, energy lines like that. So, we talk about making your shrine area. That is part of Feng Shui. It's part of a healing environment as well. And you have your sacred power objects in there for, spiritual transmissions and the rest, with the picture of your teacher and things like that, your mentor. That can be powerful and sacred to you. So those objects include lots of things, even the bell and basha, that we use for ceremonies and statues, rupas, those kinds of things. Some people have special rocks or shells or feathers or photographs, incense, those kinds of things. But they all create this energy that can be healing. The shamans of the past certainly did that, and were very powerful in their expression of the energy of the land. And we've kind of gotten away from that. We've been really harmed the environment and harmed ourselves as a result. Just walking on the earth barefoot is important, to get the natural vibration of the earth and not be cut off from the rubber that usually we're wearing, on our shoes. Cuts us off from Mother Earth and the life force. So that's why walking on the beach or just walking barefoot is important. Colors. You probably heard of, clearing a space with sage, smudging, as the Native Americans did. This is all part of the Feng Shui aspect of purifying by fire and blessing ceremonies for a house or a space. Well, if there's no more questions, we can stop here. But if you do have a question, you can feel free to ask it.
So, Lama, in my shrine room, I have the highest point is the statue of Buddha that you allowed me to have. I bought, and then there's a picture of you and the two masters that were here about a year ago. Whose names I don't remember. Also, in that room, I have some of my favorite guitars because those are my ticket to my spirit.
Yeah.
And that feels really good to me.
Yeah. So you want to have the Buddha at the highest level. So you're looking up. That raises your chi. It's yangizing. It's more, that's associated with the spirit. And the yin energy is associated with the earth. And we're kind of between the spirit level, which is associated with the father and the mother earth. And we're in the middle. So the relationship in terms of height is slightly looking up. It raises your chi. So when we're doing meditation, we also mention that sometimes our energy is flagging and it's weak, and we want to bring it up. So we think about a white pearl ascending through the central channel, and it's up. So our energy is rising up, and that's invigorating. Mm-hmm. And a house in a particular situation like that, where you have the Buddha, we always say it's above eye level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, and sound has always been a part. I mean, musical instruments, Saraswati, the bodhisattva of wisdom and music and art, is that's represented in the guitar or the lute or the different flutes, different kinds of musical instruments. So it's fine to have those in there. They're a representation, of music, which has always been part of the healing tradition.